I can't tell you what to do, man. I can only give you advice. The times that we live in are very spiritual times. I don't know if you've ever heard the term martial law, or another term that they like to sugarcoat martial law with called shelter in place. Make a long story short, I'm not going to go on all day about this, but I want you to know that all of our days are numbered here. I want you to realize that FEMA is ready to put the entire nation under martial law and enslave every American citizen. I know this sounds crazy. Whatever you were taught in school, forget it. School is brainwashed. That is why you're forced to go there from what is like age 5, 6, something like that, all the way up until you're an adult. At one time, when people went to school, there was reading, writing, and arithmetics. They didn't have all this crap that they try and cram down your throat nowadays. And school, I don't believe, was as long as what it is now. So yeah, at one time, the system educated the public. But it's gone way past that now. It's gone way past that. Now it's mandatory by law that every child go to school. And there's a reason for that. You're held inside of a closed environment. You're told when to speak. You're told when not to speak. You're told when to eat, when to go to the bathroom. Basically, you're under full control for 7 hours a day, from the time you're a young child until you're an adult. By that time, usually people are shaped for society. They are brainwashed. Then when they leave school, they come home and they stare at their televisions. And television is a whole nother powerful weapon of the devil. The news is a perfect example. How the news, they sugarcoat everything. But then at the same time, they kind of criticize whatever they're speaking about. They put me on the television one day because I like to pick cans out of people's trash. They put me on the news and said, "This man says that's how he makes his money." And then they said, "Sadly, the problem is he isn't the only one." So right then and there, they're criticizing me. Just an example. I don't really care that they put me on TV, but it's just an example of how they go on there with their sweet talking voice, and the name of the segment was "Scrappers Causing Neighborhoods to Lock Down Their Property." And then they put my face there, when God knows that I don't steal a dime from nobody. God knows that. I don't care what people think. But now, as soon as I walk into a store, people who stare at the TV and that are brainwashed say, oh, it's that kid I seen on TV. He's going to rob me. Because they're brainwashed and they believe the nonsense the news has crammed down their throat. Young children watch movies where there's people dying. People are getting shot. It seems like nobody realizes this. But when you stare at a television, you're putting yourself in whatever you're looking at. It's almost like you're really there because you're being hypnotized. I know Hollywood and all these big movie producers and movie companies and just general society and public, they call that entertainment. They call people getting shot, they call cars blowing up, buildings falling down, killing hundreds of thousands of people. They call that entertainment. And the category they put that entertainment under is called action Think about that for a second. That is pure, absolute brainwash. But that puts you like you're a third person, like you're really seeing that. When you stare at a television screen, it's almost like you are observing somebody else's life. It's like you're looking right at it. Your mind doesn't comprehend this. Your mind doesn't physically realize that that's not reality. It hypnotizes you, man. You're not judging what's on the screen. You're not saying, is that right or is that wrong? Whoa, somebody just died. You're not looking at it like that because you're being hypnotized as you're watching it from the frame rate that the picture is illuminating. Especially the old analog TVs, they're even worse. Anyway, enough of that. Society is brainwashed, and the government knows that. They're the people that control these networks. They're the ones that control the school system, which is really just brainwash. It's really, really sick. But when you add it all up, you see the work of the devil. And it all comes from the system and people's ignorance. Since a lot of people, sadly, do not have faith like they did at one time. And since their faith has grown very slim, the devil, well, has more power in today's society, sadly. And the police force, I gotta say, they are a big part of the devil's army because they are the one enforcing these ridiculous laws. And they, sadly, are the ones harassing most of the homeless people. People who are trying to make an honest living and survive while they sit in their cars or trucks and sit on their ass all day and get paid for it, basically. They haven't had to work for $1 in their life. They sit in their cars or they sit in their chairs at the police station, and then they listen to all these negative things coming in. People complaining about their neighbors. They hear about people dying, and they go home and they see it on the TV. So really, they're brainwashed as well. And then when they see a righteous man come along who makes an honest living off of people's trash, they fear that because they see that he's in reality. And I'm not speaking about myself. I'm speaking about everybody in general who makes an honest living. The police, the system, and the sheep, they fear that. They fear that you know how to get by without the system. When I say sheep, I mean general society. The Joneses with the brand new plastic car on the block, with the biggest television in the block that's as big as their wall. You know, the ones that never missed a meal and had all their money handed to them from their daddy when they were a kid. Basically had the silver spoon their entire life. Never slept under a bridge in the pouring rain. Never actually had to work for anything. That have the $700-800 cell phones every month. Even general society. Everywhere you look around, people who just sit in front of their TV all day. It's sad. At one time, people actually talked to one another. People actually left their house. They went outside and they met up with their friends and they rode their bicycles and built machines. They blasted the radio. You know what I mean, man? It's just now the mind police are like in full effect. When I say mind police, I mean those who want to control your mind from a young age, such as school teachers. School teachers, I believe, are idols. They're not teaching the gospel. They're teaching evolution, which dismisses God, which dismisses the spiritual reality. And they put these young kids into a worldly mindset of materialism and just craziness at a young age. And then they see violence and they see people steal and they see all this insanity on television. pornography, everything. You think about it, at a young age, when you're still in your formation years, you have no idea what this world is about. That's what you're being exposed to. When you get older, that's what you're going to like. You see people killing people on television from the time you're a baby. When you grow up, it's going to have some kind of influence on you. And then, if you never work for $1 in your life, being flooded with all that insanity, it really, really messes your head up. And sadly, that's how this whole society is. And then they sit in their houses all day. They get depressed. Their minds are just constantly spinning around and around and around. They hate their lives. They hate their jobs. If they would just get outside and be free, it would be so much easier, and they would learn so much. They would just simply ask Jesus for wisdom. I myself, every time I wake up in the morning, I thank the Lord for another day, because I know tomorrow's never promised. I've had bullets fired at me already. I've had guns aimed in my face. I know my life could be over in a split second. I've been hit by cars. I've crashed into cars on the bike. I know that my life could end in less than a second. And I know that when I die, I'm going to heaven. If you don't know where you're going when you die, I got to tell you, that's a scary feeling. You can call me whatever you want to call me, all right? I'm not afraid of anything in this world, but the next world is eternity. I am afraid of that. I don't want to go to hell. That's why I just trust in Jesus. Every day, I thank Him for everything I have, and I ask Him to guide me throughout the day. Guide me to wherever He feels as though I belong. And I advise that you do the same. Thank Him. Talk to Him like He's your friend. He's your Father, your real Father. Your earthly father is nothing more than another person that took care of you when you were young. Once you're an adult, once you're older, your father is just another person. He's still family. You still love him. But your heavenly Father is the one that you really should keep a strong relationship with and bring your real problems to, because He's really the only one that can help you. Your earthly father is just a human being. Your earthly mother is just a human being. They can only do so much. When you bring your problems to God and bring your thoughts to God, you accomplish so much more. He guides your mind. If you just simply ask God for wisdom, He will give it to you. Once you have that wisdom, though, you have to deal with it. When you ask for it, He'll give it to you. But once you start getting wisdom, you're going to see it doesn't stop. You're going to realize the times that you're living in. And the Lord is going to take you out of your worldliness. He's going to put you into reality and make you realize the spiritual aspect of our nation. Right now, our nation is like a cesspool. Spiritually, physically, everything. It's like a cesspool. There's trash everywhere. Nobody really is happy anymore. I mean, honestly, I'm ashamed to say that I'm an American. I can honestly say that. I'm ashamed to say that I live in this country. But that's besides the fact. I trust in God. God knows who I am. God knows that I don't steal nothing from nobody. And God knows that if one of my brothers or sisters need help, I'll try and be there. I'm not Superman. I can't be a million places at once. But the Lord knows that I do care about my friends, friends, people that I don't even know I care about. If I see somebody get hit by a car on a bike, I'm not just going to ride past them and say, hey, how you doing? Hey. I'm going to stop and I'm going to help them. Sadly, our society, half the people, they run somebody over, they don't even stop. They don't care. It's just an example of how people have become, how careless they've become anymore. I mean, I'm going to give you another example. Let's say there's 6 people beating up one guy on the side of the road. What do? Do you ride past and act like nothing's happening? Or do you stop and go over there and try and help the man? Yeah, you're going to get beat up, you're going to get hurt, but the Lord knows that that's, at least you're trying to help somebody. I don't want to hurt nobody, but I don't want nobody around me to be hurt neither. Half the people, you could be laying dead on the side of the road, man, and they won't even slow down their cars. As long as they got their $6 coffee in their cup holder and their shiny cell phone, they don't give a damn about you. Is that really the world that you want to live in? Is that really all you want? Is this world? This world is falling apart. This world, man, is... I shouldn't even say it's falling apart. It's already fell apart. If you don't believe that, just go to google.com and type in New World Order or martial law. And that right there will show you. You know what I mean? That'll show you the state of our nation. That'll make you aware of how spiritual these times are. If you don't believe in God, I don't want to call you a fool. I think you're making a very foolish decision. Because if you don't believe in God, I mean, what do you have besides material? Man can only possess so much while he's here. When he's dead, I don't care if you got $1 million, you ain't going to take it with you. Your body is going to rot away, and your spirit is going to go to hell. And it's going to burn for eternity. If you don't have God, what do you have? Just ask God for wisdom. Ask Him to guide you. And most of all, thank Him for what you already have. And I guarantee you, you will feel happier inside. You'll start to see. God will open your eyes. And I can't explain what that means. That's a process that you yourself have to do. That's a road that you have to travel down alone with Jesus. Once you ask Jesus to come into your heart, instantly, I tell you this from experience, instantly, you feel better. Instantly. And you start to see. God bless you. Whoever you are, I advise you to treat your friends, your relatives, everybody. Treat everybody with respect. Treat everybody the way that you yourself would like to be treated. May God's peace be with you.